contemplate the Constitution of Oregon, first article from the Bill of Rights, we declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power inherent in the people and free government are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. I would like to suggest that by allowing the government of Oregon to derive their income from gambling, we are endangering the people's safety. I would like to encourage you to write your congressperson and tell them that this is unacceptable, but I think that that may be too much to ask. Let's consider another option instead. We can quite easily take the money away from this system by avoiding lottery outlets, convenience stores, and bars who sell Oregon lottery tickets, and we can avoid the long lines of people buying the lottery tickets and the dingy wannabe casino atmosphere that you see in so many of the bars around Portland. I think we need to touch on how much money this is making Oregon exactly. Almost $1 billion a year for the past 3 or 4 years. But this money is gained by, in a way that brings people to harm. It takes money away from the people who need it most, and it exposes people to addiction. According to Dorsey and Gaffey at helpguide.org, 2.4% of the population has an active gambling problem. State-regulated gambling exposes an additional percentage of the population to the danger of addiction for the express purpose of supporting the state. This is a direct endangering of our people for profit, and I don't feel it's safety. According to, let's see, the Oregon Lottery was created during an economic crunch in the mid-80s, 1985. However, according to the Oregon Blue Book, a governmental almanac that evaluates the state of Oregon, our state left the crunch of the economic 80s, and additionally, we've passed through another recession in 2000, 2001. This is a stable state, and we're going to continue to make it without the sources of lottery income. However, I think it's unlikely that the state's going to take away its nice little jackpot. As such, we should find other avenues to deny them this harmful revenue. I suggest that by avoiding stores and bars that serve as lottery outlets, we can assist in denying the state the lottery revenue that it needs to continue its program. If it's not making any money, they'll just stop doing it. And the bars and convenience stores won't bother anymore. It's a pain for them, and they'll stop if there's no money. This allows us several benefits. We can avoid those long lines of people standing there in the convenience store trying to check their tickets or buy 2 dozen more tickets. You can avoid the wannabe gambling atmosphere. You'll notice that a lot of restaurants that still allow smoking have done so by allowing gambling. You might be able to get rid of them both at one time. I know some of you are pro that. Even if you don't do it every time, try and make your favorite bar a non-lottery establishment. Like, they call them McMenamins. No lottery. Managing to stay afloat, your bars aren't going to go away if you stop buying lottery tickets. Let's see. So, you can avoid it. You can take money away from the state that is causing harm to people. The Oregon Lottery's slogan is, Oregon Lottery, it does good things. Yeah, it also does bad things. And the government that is instituted for the peace, safety, and happiness of the people should not expose the people to harm. That's totally contrary to the mission statement, the Bill of Rights. I understand that this is kind of a difficult project to undertake in the face of the closures of schools and public restrooms and such, both of which are funded by lottery dollars, public education, and Portland public parks. But it's the right thing to do. Bars and convenience stores are around state government lasted a good 100 years, 200 years almost, before the lottery was ever created, they're all gonna still stick around. It's not gonna destroy the economy, and it's not gonna hurt you any to avoid those outlets. There are plenty of other places to buy a soda, a pack of smokes, get a drink. You can find a spot, trust me. Don't allow Oregon to exploit addiction. Find a way to fight back, whether it's writing a letter or by boycotting a store or bar that sells lottery tickets. Thank you.
The lottery brings in a lot of money, like
900 billion about this last year.
If you do away with that, tell me where you're gonna get that money that's gonna go to the state.
That is a good question. Taxes, where all the rest of the money comes from. Instead of a selective tax on people who are addicted, you tax everybody fairly.
What about the money in the schools? We're cutting that funding off. Where's the rest of that
Like
money?
I said, the state of Oregon has the responsibility to pay for its own services through legitimate means.
Okay, so what about the people who are paying taxes by owning a bar or a convenience store, and then they are not going to make as much money because they're not going to have the lottery revenue?
As much money.
Okay, we gotta cut it short because we gotta get to some more people. I will get back to you in just a second. One thing that I would like to say was that I know you realize that you hadn't quite set yourself up for this in the first speech. Knowing how much money those bars and bars and convenience stores make would have been really important as a feed into this.
Yeah.
Secondly, I mean, I think that giving us, I liked where this was going about boycotting them, but they have to know that we're boycotting them. Just not going to a place doesn't let anyone know why we're not going there. So maybe having like a little pamphlet or a little form that we could sign and take to our favorite bar that says, I'm not coming back here again until you get rid of the lottery.
It wouldn't hurt anything to tell them why.
Okay.
Very
Olivia?
good point.
I just wanted to say, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, that many, many small businesses are closing, and most of the profits that bars make, because my family owns several bars,
Sure.
the only profits that they make to barely make the bills is from gambling. And if they did get rid of it, then sales of vodka and other drinks will not make you enough money. Just, you know.
I know that there
Okay, we gotta move on.
okay.
And before San Amigos,